Hello, everybody. Hope everybody had a good weekend here. I'm gonna give people a few minutes to pop in. So while we're waiting to see if more people show up, I'll put some music on and take care of some other things real quick. I'm gonna go off camera here for a moment. I'll be right back. And I'm back. As I said, we're just gonna wait a few minutes to give some people a chance to come on. Um got quite a bit. We got like quite a bit to now go over that in a few moments here. All right, so we're just, as I said, just waiting for some people to show up here. Let's see. And I do think whoever did come in earlier and made another like, that's appreciated. Um, Sundown, you better take it. Sundown, you better take it. Sundown, you better take it. Even keeping Hong Kong Phooey, number one super guy. Hong Kong Phooey, quicker than the human eye. Wah, 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 wah. Hong Kong Phooey, you're terrific. Papa Bear, Papa Bear, Papa Bear, Papa Bear. Well, there goes Max on his routine mission. Will he lose or win? This is for Pride Diaper and that safety pin. Fantastic Max. They're dashing, they're daring, courageous and caring, faithful and friendly with stories to share. All through the forest, they sing out in chorus, marching along as their song fills the air. Gummy bear, bouncing here and there and everywhere. Find adventure that's beyond compare. They are the gummy bears. They are the gummy bears. Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. They start lasers, aeroplanes. It's a duck blur. Might solve a mystery or rewrite history. DuckTales. Ooh, I'll be making DuckTales. Ooh, you'll be saying, I'll be saying DuckTales. It's a stranger out to find you when you go on to DuckTales. Ooh, I've been making DuckTales. Ooh, I've been making DuckTales. And it's a stranger out to find you when you grab onto drum DuckTales. Ooh, I've been making DuckTales. Ooh. Hey, Mimi. Not much, just waiting on people to show up. I appreciate any all like and share. All right, now that we do have another person in here, I guess I can get started a little bit here. I'm going to hang out, and if you, of course, if you can help out by liking and sharing the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here. That'd be appreciated. Anyways, so what's on tap for tonight then? So I guess I'll get started on that as we're coming up on the 8-minute mark. Anyways, I've got 7 articles I'll be going over. 2 comic related, and then the other 5 anime related. Let's see. The one article I'll be starting off with is not from Bounding into Comics. Talking about Yellow Flash calling out DC for some marketing ploys there. Also, Elvira's got some comic news coming out here. So goes over, and then on the anime side of it, we got of course, some profile pieces and stuff talking about the upcoming fall season over in Japan on Isekai series. Also, Konosuba spin-off got a trailer. Netflix has apparently bought up the licenses for a number of these. Hey, Woody, it is now. If you guys can like and share the stream, that will really help and get some more people in here. Past few lives have been lonely, no bat goat, um, little busy. Yeah. I actually did reach out to Bat Goat. I did actually try to reach out to him the other day. Send him a message in the hopes that maybe whatever he's been dealing with, yeah, the old gang ain't here no more. Yeah, I mean, Leto. I did talk to Leto as well. Suggested he could still come in even towards the end of shift. Um, and Action Toy has apparently just been busy with work. I mean, I was talking to him the other day about possibly coming to co-host for Friday night. Um, being part of the rotation for that, and he said he doesn't even have time for himself right now. Hey, Bianca Zombie, welcome to the Mikestand. We'll be getting to the articles in a moment here, just catching up with everybody. If you guys haven't already, you guys can like and share this stream, giving it to more friendly people here. I would be appreciated. Anyways, all that being said, unless you guys, and as always, guys, feel free if anything in any of the articles that we talk about, anything grabs your attention um, or you have any questions, feel free to ask. And I'll do my best. Edo did say because your time schedule, it would be hard for him. Well, yeah, for him, it was easier for him to come when the show started at 7. Because he's right now, he's probably right now, like, I think today might be one of his days off. Usually, around this time, he's getting ready for work. He's like on his way out the door, usually, from what I understand. So, but, you can always, even when they're not here, though. By the way, you're almost at one. Yeah, I mean, I'm like one away from 160, Meme. So hopefully, we can get some more people to watch and start coming in more. Anyways, and also I want to give a little programming note to you guys to give you a heads up. 1 week from today, Monday, September the 5th, here in the States, that's Labor Day. And from what I understand, I think Canada also celebrates Labor Day that day. Next Monday, I will be doing a open mic, open panel, much akin to what RJ does. So, be on the lookout for that. I'll be sending some links out to people, bring them on, to hang out and talk. Next Monday, we'll be doing, as I said, open mic, open panel. So, hope you guys will be there for that as well. As well, of course, as the historical comic retrospect this Friday. Anyways, without any further ado, go ahead and get started on. Let's see, maybe. Yeah, I'm at 109 now. Labor Day for you guys. Yeah. So with that, why don't we go ahead and get started on the news stories then? And as I said, as we're going over these articles, if you guys have anything you'd like to add, conversation, you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll see what I can do. Even if it doesn't, even if I don't catch it right away, um, be patient. I will come back and look. As you guys know, I have split screens here. So, anyways, let's get started here. All right, started here. All right, so here's the first article, the only one we're doing off of Bounding into Comics today. YouTuber Yellow Flash calls out DC for teasing a bisexual Batman as another stunt to mask for sales. And he's been doing this for quite a bit. I don't know if you guys caught some of those videos or not, but he's been doing that for like the last year or so. Anyway, the article by J.D. Augustine published today. The comic. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. DC has done this with his sidekick Tim Drake, which made national headlines. Then they went to the well again with the young son of his compatriot Superman Jonathan, who is taking over for his father. Now they are moving on to the Dark Knight directly and teasing he will become part of the LGBTQ community. Now, mind you, when they've done this, their sales have changed. Yeah, they made for the supposed novelty of it, they get that initial boost, but then their sales just drop off because nobody wants to read this stuff. Nobody wants this agenda shoved down their throat. You know, yeah. albeit this isn't necessarily and I've probably mentioned this on one of my previous things. This isn't necessarily the first time somebody made some kind of suggestion that Batman and Robin may have been, you know, may have been gay. It's one of the things that actually originally led to the Comic Book Authority when the psychologist Frederick Worthen had alluded to this in his book Seduction of the Innocent, which um, which um, which which then led DC to try to um, counter that by introducing Kathy Kane Batwoman and Betty Kane Bat Tyson Girl. So, anyways, um, and it's not on another Earth or timeline, nor is this effort part of some passing of the torch to the next generation of Cape Crusaders. In issue number 8 of his Batman the Night miniseries, Chip Zdarsky teases changes changes the history of Bruce Wayne in the main continuity to write him as bisexual. Of course, because these people that's what they want. They want to push that hard agenda there. Let's see. As I came back here to see, I got 1,000 on Odyssey. I love that platform. Nice, 1,000 on yeah. Um, oh, cool there, Bianca Zombie. One more sub on Odyssey now. Anyways, furthermore, it's intimated in a conversation with Dr. Capito or Capio, the supposed smartest man in the world, that Bruce had a thing for Ghostmaker that ended in heartbreak. Oh boy. Oh, laugh out loud, DC Comics is about to confirm Bruce Wayne is now bisexual, unquote. Tweeted Yellow Flash with screenshot of the page. Yeah, it's like these people are on the verge of basically getting a boot to their rear end right out of the company by David Zaslav, and they're trying to pull this baloney again. Oh boy, they just don't learn, do they? Quote: Anton broke his heart, according to Nick in bracket week comic. Hmm. While it's unclear what specifically Dr. Captillo is referring to here, the issue which dropped on August 16th, which would have been what, about 2 weeks ago tomorrow, does reveal that Captillo manipulates Bruce with doctored photos of Alfred and Dan. Um, when confronted by Bruce, Captillo explains, quote, I wanted to see if you couldn't negate your feelings, could you focus them like a knife? And I support it turns out I was right. Right. And that line. The team comes after Zdarsky and DC previously teased sexual tension between Batman and Ghostmaker in Batman the Night #5, where the two nearly embraced in a kiss before they were interrupted by former KGB agent Avery Oblonsky. The team's kiss is actually used as a deception by Bruce to pickpocket a book containing locations of international Russian safe houses. So Flash analyzed the page, Batman the Night #8, and the scenario moved fully in analyzed the page from Batman Night 8 and the scenario more fully in a YouTube video where he pointed out DC does a stunt like this, grabs a few headlines, and then people quickly move on. Yeah, because people don't want to really see this. They don't want to read this. They don't want this pushed on them, and yet these writers, it's funny, you know, like it seems like they're doing everything to just totally tank DC Comics. And people have been calling them out for it. I've been calling out for it a little bit. The whole Flash has called them out for it. Um, that's, you know. All right. So, anyways, um, getting back to the article here, whether it's Tim Drake, Jonathan Kent, or Alan Scott, Green Lantern, the effort doesn't boost sales long term. There is a bump, yes, but only for the issue when the character comes out, as was the case with John Kent in Superman Son of Kal-El. Which is true, there was a bump, but even after what, but the problem is if they're just going to keep doing these bumps, after a while that's going to grow scale. It's not going to be so much of a bump anymore. You know, eventually people are just going to tire of it and they're just going to not read it at all. They're going to go, I don't like this. I'm not even going to read this anymore. Most of DC books that break the top 50 in sales are Batman related, including a Poison Ivy solo title. Black Adam is the only exception. The title barely breaks onto the list at the very bottom, which is I think it was Yellow Flash who covered that list. I think Black Adam was something like I don't know, 46 or 48 or something like that on the ICUM, whatever that list brings up. That's a bad sign for DC business. As Yellow Flash notes, half of their books don't make the top 50 or hardly chart, which means they consistently sell below 30,000 units. There's no interest in these characters, no matter how much they inflate sales numbers with manga. Batman the Night number 8 is now on sale. Um, anyways, there we go with that one. Yeah. So basically, they just not learning, are they? As the numbers continue to tank, um, um, you know, eventually, I think Zaslav is going to get tired of it, and he's going to show these people. I think he's already in the process of showing people the door. So, but with that, getting ready to move on to the next article, and I hope you are still here. Feel free to comment. Um, all right. So the um, other comic related article I'm going to do tonight is this one. Alright, anyways, here we go. All right, so exclusive. Read Elvira's complete Ghoulish Universal Monsters team up featured in Volume 2 Omnibus. Elvira joins forces with teenage Dracula, Frankenstein, and more in 1995's Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, number 28, which fans can read in its entirety. Article by Brandon Schwer, just 11 hours ago. There's Elvira right there. Mistress of the Dark teams up with a number of classic horror monsters in Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, number 28, which will be included in the upcoming Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, a classic years omnibus volume 2. Courtesy of Dynamite Entertainment, CDR can present Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, number 28, in its entirety. Originally published in 1995, the issue comes from Frank Strom, Simonton, Louis LeChance, Brent Carpenter, Richard Howe, Lou Mogan, um, Dave Cockrum, Jim Mooney, and Susan Dorn. The main story sees the Mistress of the Dark attempt to rescue a kidnapped writer, while the backup story pairs her with teenage versions of Frankenstein and Dracula, among other monsters, for an extraordinary tale. Wow, look at that. She's definitely somebody who grabs your attention, and she's still kind of at it, even. 'Cause I know, I think she's what, like in her 70s, maybe her 80s, I think. She might be, like, I think if she's still around, I think she's still in her 80s and still doing a lot of that stuff. Yeah, Cassandra Peter. And okay, she's not quite as old as I thought she was, but let's see. She's actually got a birthday coming up, on the 17th of September here. She's 70 years old, so well, at least she's in her early 70s. Yeah. So basically, um, she's like in her 70s, so just barely hit 70. Here we go. Hey guys, um, Elvira. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Elvira was in the same high school graduating class as my sister. Wow, interesting. Woody. Elvira's a fun book. Doesn't take itself seriously. The best was the team up she did with Vincent Price, and that does look like a fun book. 70. Well, she'll be 71 next month, Woody, according to. Well, that's how old my big sister is. Well, yeah. Well, your big sister may have also had a birthday earlier. Apparently, Elvira's birthday is September 17th, so it's around the corner here. And I know, RJ, you just popped in here just now. So I was letting everybody know prior to starting the article here that and I know I already talked to you in private about this. That next Monday I'm going to be doing an open mic, open panel. So check it out. All right. So anyways, getting back to the article here. The synopsis for Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, number 28, reads, quote, Elvira's TV interview of best-selling compulsive novelist Stephen Sting reveals more than she thought. That Sting can write because of his overactive muse, and that he's got writer's block because his muse has been kidnapped. Elvira must try to rescue the muse from Sting's jealous rival, and Spice, okay, um, before she steals all his ideas. No kidding. It's all an, quote, eye for an eye, a muse for a muse, unquote, by Frank Strong, Tom Simonson, and Louis LeChance. Also, in the backup, Elvira's quest to help her pals Teen Frankenstein, Teen Werewolf, and Teen Dracula leads her to infiltrate the empire of media mogul Ted Turner, which I guess is supposed to be a parody of Ted Turner, maybe. I wonder if Elvira and the teen monsters show up on Groovy Ghoulies at some point. In Back to the Blood Bank, Part 2, the new serial by Lou Mogan, Dave Cockrum, and Jim Rooney. And I guess, RJ, you may have read some of this stuff already, so I'm pretty sure you might have some interesting commentary there. Alma High School, Colorado Springs, Colorado, class of 1969. My dad taught math there, and I went to all the basketball games. Um, I'm sure that they hung out in very different circles. Probably. Anyways, as we continue on here. Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, number 28, is one of many issues featured the Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, a classic years omnibus volume 2, featuring a number of different stories originally published by Claypool Comics in the 1990s and onward. Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, the classic years omnibus volume 2, launched a campaign on Indiegogo and has so far raised over $40,000 at the time of the article's publication. Wow. RJ, can you imagine if you could get Elvira onto your channel to promote her comic? That might be a very fun thing to have. Um, Having passed the first goal of $36,666, the collection will now come with a collector's promotional trading card to bring Elvira. Should the campaign reach 66,666, all backers will receive an exclusive Elvira book accompanying 600-page omnibus. Now, granted, interesting note here, the last three numbers, 666, do have kind of a dark connotation for those of you who, of course, have ever read the Bible before. Um, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, the classic years, Omnibus Volume 2 features work by Cockrum, Mooney, LeChance, Strom, Simonson, Howe, Mogan, Neil Vogt, David Day, Dan Day, Bruce Patterson, James Fry, Anne Maria Cool, um, John Heding, Peter Sanderson, Yvonne Mojica, Tom Smith, Alve, and more. Hardcover and trade paperback options are currently available for pre-order and are expected to ship by Halloween. For more information, visit Indiegogo. So there we go with that one. We had one hell of a push-up bro. Yep. Now, um, I'm sure that Elvira has teased and tempted many a man in her 70 years, 71 years, and probably still is teasing and tempting men at this late stage in her life as well. Anyways, getting ready now to move on to next articles, which will be anime related. Um, and then after, of course, we go to the 5 anime articles, of course. So we'll be doing the wrestling roundup and then the Disney history. So hold on, everybody. Stick around. Got quite a number of interesting stories to go through here. I'll be able to. A lot of them are more profile pieces than anything else. So you get to learn some stuff that maybe you might want to catch at some point if you could try to do so. I got all excited there. I'll have to cool down now. Well, stick around and around for these articles. Um, Anime that became well loved despite their mixed critical reception. Here are a few anime titles that went on to become full-blown franchises despite receiving plenty of negative criticism along the way. Article by Paige Velasquez was one day ago. I think I've seen that one. It happens in every medium. Sometimes consumers and critics come to very different conclusions about their enjoyment of a TV show, movie, or video, or even comics, as we've been seeing as well. Some became popular and well loved, or at least gained a significant cult following, despite receiving poor ratings from critics and the press. Anime is no different in that regard. Here are a few titles that went on to become full-blown successful franchises, despite receiving so much negative criticism from various corners. Is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon with a stereotypical fantasy anime? Now, for those of you who were on RJ's stream earlier, who were in the chat, I mentioned the term isekai um, anime. This is one of the ones that become quite popular. Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon here? So we'll take a look at this. Um, so this is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? Premiere episode was met with a lot of derision from its predictable plot to its boring protagonist to its female lead's rather ridiculous character design. Rather ridiculous character design. Yeah. Oh, because she's got huge breasts. Is that what they're talking about? Well, anyways, many expected it to just be a stereotypical harem fantasy anime that would last for a single season at most. The series has gone on to gain 2 more seasons, with a fourth slated to premiere later this year. The franchise also has a mobile game that being backed by Crunchyroll and even a spin-off series titled Sword Oratoria. Dan Maki, Sword Oratoria Dan Maki, still receives a lot of negative criticism to this day. Dan, Ma- Dan Maki might be the Japanese name for the anime there, but it definitely has a large and passionate fan base backing it up. The harem animation can be fun because of some of the interactions there. You know, some people get upset at some of the sexual aspects of it, but harem anime, when you look at some of the, there's some common tropes with harem anime, like the proverbial members of the opposite sex walking in on each other in the bath, for example. So, anyway, going on to the next one here. Italia actually powers got more negative criticism over time. Unlike most examples on this list, Italia actually Towers um, was actually very well received upon its premiere. Critics and fans alike found the show to be funny, witty, and charming. Probably helped that the show was rather short, with each episode lasting only about 5 minutes. Um, Eventually, as Italia got more seasons, even a film, yeah, that warm reception began to wane. So this is one of those things where where started off good, but then kind of suffered from maybe a little overexposure or something. Viewers and critics started to notice its less remarkable traits, like its stiff animation, particularly in its earlier seasons. Cries for poor representation began to emerge. Arguments over skin colors of certain characters. Now, what you guys have to understand too, Natalia actually powers, as I understand it, because I haven't actually watched this myself. But I understand that as I've seen some little tidbits on it here and there. I think it's a parody series that's actually set back in World War II. That's actually supposed to kind of like parody the world at that point in time. So, so each character is actually represent. Like you have a character called America. You have a character called Germany. The countries are characters basically. The characters are personifications of basically of countries, and they're total spooks, they're total parodies of those countries. Let's see where we first fourth, and the writing is now seen as less witty and more problematic. However, this renewed negative reception didn't stop the show from getting yet another season in 2021. So Talia still has its fans buried deep in the trenches of the anime fandom and just wants to be left alone. So basically, it sounds like it's got a dedicated fan base, and sounds like this is one of those animes that the SJW have decided to pick. Oh yes, and this next one is one that gets talked about a lot, a lot. The Rising of the Shield Hero. The Rising of the Shield Hero. This is one that's been really crashed upon for the last 3 years, basically throughout the entire run here. The Rising of the Shield Hero is rife with problematic growth. The Rising of the Shield Hero was another series that didn't have a promising start. Already had a good deal of reviewers dreading the arrival after being burnt out by one too many isekai anime. But the fact that the plot is kickstarted by a false rape accusation, yes, that did happen apparently, certainly did not do it any favors. As if, and that was one of the big things that was talked about when this anime came out. That was, I know, Hero Hay, Yellow Flash, a lot of the anime commentators, particularly, talked a lot about that. Really, Hero Hay, and I know this is one of Hero Hay's more favorite animes that came out. Certainly did not do it any favors. As if that weren't bad enough, the main heroine is a slave whom the protagonist literally buys. You know, again, though, people, of course, trying to trying to impress their own, morality onto an anime that doesn't really go to that. So, unsurprisingly, most reviews of Shield Hero's first episode were very negative. Despite that, the show has gone on to receive two seasons, second airing earlier in 2022. It also received a spin-off titled Reprise of the Spear Hero, while the main characters even made an appearance in the mobile game Grand Summoners and joined the cast of Isekai Quartet. Yeah. A lot of these are Isekai titles, so um, Mushoku Tensei, Godless Reincarnation, stars an unlikable protagonist. Okay, see what this one's about. Even the Rising of the Shield Heroes native reviews pale in comparison to Mushoku Tensei. Yet another, quote, reincarnated into a fantasy world. That's basically what isekai anime are, by the way. Reincarnated into a fantasy world. Um, Isekai anime with the usual harem and power fantasy tropes typically associated with the genre. But there's more. To say the main character is a pervert would be a major understatement. He misses his own parents' funeral because he was him having time to himself. Okay. Okay. That sounds like something that I think a lot of people would be interested in seeing. Yeah. Ah. While viewing indecent images on the internet, and because he keeps all his memories intact after being born into a new world, takes full advantage of his young age to sexually harass the women around him, including his own mother, as well as a number of underage children. The one thing all reviewers seem to agree on was how stunning the show's animation. Unsurprisingly, Mushoku Tensei also found an audience and confirmed to have a second season that is set for release next year. Again, the idea of going to another world where that behavior may be considered more appropriate. Um, Not considered appropriate here in our world, but anyway, it's good to see three people in here. Also, if you haven't already, you can like and share the stream. See if we can get some more friendly people in here. That'd be appreciated. Anyway, we move on to the next story here. Uh, Here's the next story, and this one is about a pretty. This, this series had a good run on Tsunami there too when it came out. Nearly a decade on, this anime is still a rare treated masterpiece. Space Dandy premiered nearly a decade ago, but it holds up well Here's what there is to like about this anime and why it's still worth watching. Now, this one is not quite as controversial because, it's got the space aspect to it. It's like, it's kind of a fun anime for a lot of you. Article by Mark Stewart, published 18 hours ago. So here we go. Space Dandy's opening scene soon contains all you need to know about the series. Space Dandy, he's a dandy guy in space. Well, says all fans need to. It says all fans need to know about what the show's about, what kind of characters there are, and what the tone is, and more. Basically, it's not just about a guy who's just hanging out in space, basically with a couple different padres, uh, and the interaction we have with aliens and all that. Anyways, Space Dandy was released between January and September 2014. First grabbed American audiences' attention with an advertisement stating it was the creators of Soul Eater, Fullmetal Alchemist, and Bebop. And I think you can see at least some of the animation influences of Cowboy Bebop. Intrigued anime fans who tuned into Tsunami on Saturday night were treated to a psychedelic space adventure and precisely the kind of material that the commercials promised. It was directed by Shinichiro Watanabe, the legendary director behind Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo. In the past, the series was also animated by Bone, who has advertised animated Soul Eater and Fullmetal Alchemist. For a better idea of Space Dandy's more avant-garde moments of animation, they also went on to animate Mob Psycho 100. The style of storytelling animation these two creative bodies are known for can be felt all throughout the all throughout. It's true. Anyway, I need to step away from the computer for a moment. I'll be right back. Um, put some music on for you guys while I put some business here. I'll be right back. All right, so with that, let's continue on with the article here then. We're coming up on an hour mark here. So let's see. The show follows the adventures of the eponymous space dandy. He is accompanied by the robot QT and the cat-like alien Meow. Original names there. The three of them travel the galaxy aboard the Aloha Oe in search of undiscovered alien life. On the off chance they find any, they can register it and earn a large sum of money. At the same time, unbeknownst to them, Dandy is being pursued by Dr. Gao of the Gogol Empire, who believes he is the source of some great power. Like Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo, um, Space Dandy is episodic, essentially a series of short stories that don't really have any bearing on each other. So it's one of those rare, it's kind of one of those rare, like episodic type animes. These three listed here are probably the few that I know of that are more like episodic. They don't necessarily follow one strict storyline, as it were, or a very basic storyline at that. So regardless, each one of them is packed with so much emotion and meaning that they almost seem like they could function as their own feature-length films. While there are echoes of overarching story, most episodes can be watched and enjoyed completely independent of one another. Part of what helps the series, in particular, be so episodic is its lack of continuity. There's an in-universe explanation for this, but for the most part, nothing about any one episode has to logically connect to the others. In fact, Dandy and company could die in an episode, and it wouldn't prevent them from going on more ridiculous space adventures in the next. In fact, I think that's exactly. I think there was like a 2 or 3 episode arc where that actually did happen. I think there was like a 2, if I remember. I think there was something like a 2 or 3 episode arc where they actually were killed, but continued their adventures anyways, and then they were brought back to life. This factors into another important aspect of space jamming, and it's absurdist humor. Absurdist humor. The series uses its sci-fi setting to put its over-the-top characters into out-of-this-world scenarios, adding the extravagance of quality animation to this makes for a uniquely entertaining experience. Hmm. Time for me to. All right. Need to step away from the computer one more time, make some lighting adjustments. I'll be right back. Welcome back. Thank you, Woody. I'm gonna step away one more time here to make some lighting adjustments. I'll be right back. Okay, cool. I find my cursor. I'm back. Sorry. I guess I cut the music off first. I should have came back on camera first. But anyways, getting back to the articles now. All right. So here we go. Getting back to the articles here then. Um, of course, not everything about Space Dandy is geared toward the comedic. The show can cover a broad range of emotions, and it really wants to. It can be heartwarming, tragic, upbeat, or even thought provoking, depending on what story is being told. It's just that the comedic tone is at the center of the series. Mhm. Also worth noting that this is one of the rare anime where fans prefer listening to the English dub over the Japanese or over the original Japanese, even though it was dubbed by Funimation. Um, just to let you know. Part of this has to do with the fact that many episodes from season one actually premiered on America's Toonami block before their Japanese release. Besides that, Funimation used some pretty talented voice actors on this project. Colin Klingenbeard, J. Michael Tatum, and Joel McDonald are just a few examples. Um, Additionally, Ian Sinclair is so perfect as Dandy that he reprised the role convincingly in a live action commercial for the season one DVDs and Blu rays. These actors really breathe life into their character with enjoyable and memorable performances. For everything Space Dandy did for its audiences, it doesn't get talked about a lot nowadays. Well, considering it's been off the air for a few years now, you know, so that'd be a big part of why. But this might have to do with the fact that the series is almost a decade old now. Anime fans who haven't seen it should make room in their schedules to do so. Those who have seen it should spread the word. Space Dandy may be old, but it's still a creative masterpiece. Oh, there we go with that one. I think we have what? I think we might have two or three more. Gotta double check that. See just how many more stories we get. Let's see. Just past the hour mark. Okay. Oh, let me see. How many more do we get here? Let's see. One, two. Okay, so we got three more articles to go through here. And here's the next one we're gonna look at here. The most anticipated new and returning isekai anime coming in fall 2022. Anime industry has brought in several new isekai anime this year, and the fall 2022 season is reeling in even more. Article by Erica Hennessy, published 10 hours ago. Throughout 2022, several new, popular, and overlooked anime have been produced. Their themes ranging from sports to action. The isekai genre, which typically involves the protagonist being sent to another world, has also made a tremendous breakthrough with the premiere of the fourth season of fan favorite Overlord this summer and the medical focused alternate world Pharmacy. Despite its various controversies, isekai remains a beloved genre among anime fans, and 2022 has promised plenty of it. More isekai anime, new and returning, is set to air during the fall 2022 season, and here are some that viewers are looking most 402. Reincarnated as a sword. The ongoing fantasy light novel and manga series, Reincarnated as a Sword. Wow, a lot of them have to do with reincarnation, don't they? Anyways, focuses on a man who, as the title implies, has become a sword following a fatal car accident. Since he can no longer move around on his own due to his new form, he is forced to hope for someone to become his owner. His wish is granted when he aids Fran, a young slave girl, with cat ears and a tail, in slaughtering a monstrous bear. As he has no memory of his name, Fran decides to call him Master. So she calls the sword Master, even though she's the master of the sword. Okay. With each of them wanting to know the answers to their own questions, they decide to go on a quest while strengthening their bond. Sounds pretty interesting. And here's one here's another popular one that gets talked about a lot. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. Reincarnation appears to be a popular theme in isekai, and that time I got reincarnated as a slime is one of the best examples of this trope. Much like Master from Reincarnated as a Sword, middle-aged protagonist Rimuru Tempest is also fatally injured and wakes up reincarnated into another world, but as a low-level slime instead. Similar to the popular Nintendo character Kirby, Rimuru can obtain the abilities and appearances from just about anything he devours, having already been adapted into 2 successful anime seasons. That time I got reincarnated as a slime is set to return in November, with a movie to be theatrically released in Japan, before being distributed everywhere else in 2023. Welcome to Demon School, Iruma-kun. Isekai anime does not necessarily need to involve reincarnation. And Welcome to Demon School, Iruma-kun is a great option for those who prefer the slice-of-life approach. When the titular character's narcissistic and irresponsible parents sell him to a demon, he is sent to a place known as the Demon World and attends an academy comprised of other demons, thus having no choice but to hide his human identity. However, this does not prove to be easy. With 2 installments in tow and full of hilarity, Welcome to Demon School, Iruma-kun, 3rd season, is scheduled to debut on Crunchyroll on October 8th, 2022. That's Saturday. That's like the day after my birthday. So, anyway, so there we go with that one. Okay. That went pretty quick. Let's see. Where are we at on time here? Hour 13. Anyways. All right, so getting ready to move on to the next article then. Konosuba spin-off anime gets exclusive first trailer and release date. Kadokawa teases Konosuba spin-off anime which will follow the story of explosion-obsessed mage Megumin, with a visually stunning first trailer. Article by Miki Suzuki, published 9 hours ago. Kadokawa dropped the explosive trailer for Konosuba's spin-off anime series, Konosuba: An Explosion on This Wonderful World, and revealed more information about the release date. Premiered on the Kadokawa Anime YouTube channel, the trailer for the spin-off series is a visual masterpiece. The anime will follow the spin-off light novel series of the same name, written by Natsumi Akatsuki and illustrated by Korone Mishima. Konosuba: An Explosion on the Wonderful World will make its debut in 2023. Members of Konosuba's creative team will return for the spin-off. A promotional video listed a cast associated with the production, including Rie Takahashi as Megumin and Aki Toyosaki as Yum. Returning creatives from previous seasons include Koichi Ikuta, who served as character designer, Masato Koda, music composer, and Makoto Uezu, who is in charge of series composition. Takumi Kanasaki will serve as the chief director of production, Studio Drive. The crew working on the spin-off will also handle the third season of the main series, Konosuba: God's Blessing on This Wonderful World. Previous seasons were animated by Studio Dean, while JT's staff worked on the films. Oh, there we go. There's more. Konosuba: An Explosion on This Wonderful World follows the story of Megumin, the quote, greatest genius of the Crimson Magic Clan, unquote. The story takes place a year before Kazuma Sato's story begins in the original anime. So it's a prequel. It's a prequel. Story takes place. Okay, yeah, we already read that. Megumin, a young mage, obsessed with creating explosive spells, refuses to learn any other type due to being fascinated with explosion magic from the first time she witnessed it in action. Now, it sounds like she's got a bit of pyromania in her, doesn't it? Alongside Megumin is her frenemy, Union, the daughter of the Crimson Magic Clan, those chief. Natsumi Akatsuki, the writer of Konosuba: God's Blessing on This Wonderful World, Korone Mishima is the artist behind the manga. The Devil is a Part-Timer. High School. A high school series spin-off based on the original light novel, The Devil is a Part-Timer. Yen Press imprint on Yenon publishes the light novel in America. Until the release of the spin-off title, Konosuba: God's Blessing on This Wonderful World, Seasons 1 and 2 are available to watch on Crunchyroll. God's Blessing on This Wonderful World, animated by Studio Dean, follows the story of Kazuma Sato, a NEET. And for those of you who don't know what that term means, a NEET in this case is not in education, employment, or training. who experiences an untimely death due to a traffic accident. After dying, he meets the goddess Aqua, who offers to reincarnate him in a parallel world that features MMORPG or multimedia online role-playing game elements where he can battle monsters. Aqua offers to let Kazuma bring one thing with him, and he chooses her. As a result, both of them get transported into a fantasy world ruled by a demon king. Konosuba, an explosion on this wonderful world, will premiere in 2023. There we go. We go with that one. All right, so I think we got just one more story to go through, and then we'll be done with the articles. Oh, yeah, this is going to be the last article we're going to read through tonight. We'll get to the wrestling recap. All right, Netflix lands global deal for Hunter x Hunter and other Nippon TV anime. Netflix will be adding 18 or 13 anime titles to its platform in a deal with Nippon TV, including Hunter x Hunter and Ouran High School Host Club. Article by Hilary Leung, published 4 hours ago. And there's a scene from Hunter x Hunter, of course. We got Karapka on the left there, shown in the center, and Kahlua on the right. Netflix is expanding its partnership with Japan's Nippon TV to include 13 anime series on its streaming platform in the non-exclusive deal, including the popular shonen series Hunter x Hunter. I wonder which version, the 99 version or the 2011 version. As reported by Deadline, Netflix will add to its growing roster of anime titles, aside from Hunter x Hunter, beloved rom-com Ouran High School Host Club, and Dark Fantasy Claymore will be available on September 1st, which is this Thursday. First adapted in 1999 before being rebooted in 2011, Hunter x Hunter aired on Nippon TV until 2014 with 148 episodes. First 38 episodes of the 2011 series will be available to watch in 104 countries, including Finland, Italy, Spain, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, and the UAE, or United Arab Emirates, which I'm guessing then that it's the 2011 version. Ouran High School Host Club will be available in 190 countries, while Claymore will be available to watch in 136 countries. Other titles will be making their debut on the platform later. The entirety of the Death Note series, Death Note Relight, Visions of God, Death Note Relight L's Successors, will be available to watch in 14 countries. First 2 seasons of Shoujo romance series From Me to You or Kimi ni Todoke, the 1997 Berserk series Berserk, sci-fi horror anime Parasite the Machine, Shoujo classic Nana, boxing series Hajime no Ippo, the fighting, all good series by the way, and lastly thriller Monster will be available for fans to watch. Netflix saw an impressive growth in the demand for anime. Netflix has seen a considerable uptick in its subscribers' interest in anime. With the platform reporting that its audience for anime grew by over 100% in 2020. The streaming giant reported in the first half of 2022 More than half of its members were watching anime. At the time, the platform promised to add 40 titles that would include new and returning series. As Netflix had previously entered a deal with Nippon TV to stream the Japanese reality show Old Enough, series that follows young children doing errands alone. A new deal only serves as an extension of their existing relationship in the announcement. Akane Inoue, anime sales and licensing international business development at Nippon TV, said, quote, for many years, the anime has been a driving force at Nippon TV, where we have been producing hit anime titles such as Hunter x Hunter, Death Note, and many more. With anime continuing to surge in popularity around the world, timing could not be better for this exciting partnership with Netflix. I have no doubt anime fans will be talking about the titles the world over. Hunter x Hunter, Foreign High School Host Club, Claymore will be available more than 100 companies starting on September 1st, again this Thursday, with the other 9 titles added at a later date. Well, there we go with that one. All right, so with that, guys, that's the conclusion of our article coverage. I do have some stuff to talk about in terms of wrestling. We have quite a bit of stuff to go over. I'll try to get through. So first off, in WWE news, of course, this weekend, of course, is the Clash of the Castle pay-per-view in Cardiff, Wales. And among those, among that event there, as soon as I can, that'll be, of course, this Saturday. Saturday our time, I think it'll be Sunday theirs, but at Cardiff, Wales, UK. Set, of course, to be broadcast that same day. The main event is going to see Roman Reigns defending the unified titles against Drew McIntyre. And according to some rumors, it looks like they might try to take the titles off of Reigns, to where they don't have a part-time champion, part-time performer holding the champions. That's just a rumor, though. So take it as such. Gunther defends the Intercontinental title against Sheamus. Liv Morgan defends the SmackDown Women's title against Shayna Baszler. We're finally going to see Seth Rollins and Riddle in action against each other. And then the team of Damage Control of Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky will be taking on the team of Raw Women's champion Bianca Belair, teaming with Asuka and Alexa Bliss. So that's coming up this weekend. And in the lead up to that, of course, now SmackDown for this Friday was actually taped last week. So but for tonight, as they again prepare to do the show tonight, it's coming up tonight. What are some of the things that will lead into? Well, actually, the WWE Women's Tag Team Title Tournament final will be happening tonight, as Dakota Kai and Io Sky of Damage Control will be taking on Aaliyah and Raquel Rodriguez to crown the new WWE Women's Champion. So, So that's going on. Also, some other things going on. So Karrion, there's another rumor going around that Triple H might be trying to bury Karrion Kross's previous run in the WWE, as it was a short run, was not very considered not very good for Karrion. Triple H is going to try to make this run seem like his first run in the WWE. And it's also been talked about they may put one of the two titles on him as well, So, anyways, that does seem to be what's going on the WWE front. Now for the AEW front, on the AEW front, now, so of course, AEW has an event coming up on Sunday here, All Out. Of course, one of the matches, the feature will be a 4-way match between Hikaru Shida, Tony Storm, Britt Baker, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and Jamie Hayter to crown the interim AEW Women's World Champion, as it was previously reported that was previously reported that that was previously reported that Thunder Rosa had been injured and was unable to defend. Originally, it was going to be Thunder Rosa defending the women's title against Tony Storm at it, but some things being said backstage are like this may be a work to help cool down some heat between Thunder Rosa and Jamie Hayter. Is there apparently some legit heat? There's just a lot of legit heat backstage. There are a lot of people who are unhappy right now. EW honeymoon apparently seems to be over. Among them, there's heat between Thunder Rosa and both Dr. Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. There's a lot of talk that a lot of people are unhappy with just how they're being booked. It's the problem being, of course, that you got like too many top guys. You don't really have enough mid carders to balance it out. It seems like. Also at All Out though, Swerve in Our Glory will be defending the AEW World Tag Team titles against the Acclaimed. In a grudge match, you have Absolute Ricky Starks taking on Powerhouse Hobbs. You have Christian Cage taking on Jungle Boy. Bryan Danielson taking on the Wizard, Chris Jericho. For the TBS title, you have Jade Cargill defending against Athena. Having a 6-man tag, you have Jay Lethal teaming up with his friends from Impact Wrestling, the Motor City Machine Guns, and on the pinnacle of FTR and Wardlow, the current FTR currently triple champions, and Wardlow the current TNT champ. And then you also have the finals of the Trios title tournament as well as the Casino Ladder match. So that's all that's going on AEW. There is a lot of heat backstage. Does seem to be a lot of heat backstage. Anyways, getting ready to move on. And in the world of Impact, over the weekend, the team of the OGK of Mike Bennett and Matt Taven had defeated the Good Brothers at the Lone Star event on Friday. The Good Brothers, who apparently their contract is up with Impact, dropped the titles to Bennett and Matt Taven of Honor No More on their way out. Now, some reports have claimed that maybe some people in the WWE who were trying to court Good Brothers back to it. That was though during McMahon's when McMahon was still there. But the interest may have fallen out. There's some negotiations that had broken down apparently. But right now it looks like the Good Brothers are looking to go back to New Japan, wrestle there, and work with the Bullet Club there. Yeah, Lone Star Stampede had happened over the weekend. Some of the most notable, well, as I said, included Bennett and we did have Bullet Club members Ace Austin and Chris Bay win their match. Motor City Machine Guns defeated Aussie Open coming in. Aussie Open of Mark Davis and Kyle Fletcher, who are also recently involved in the Trios tournament for AEW. Honor No More duo of Mike Bennett and Matt Taven, also known as OGK, defeated the Good Brothers as they dropped the title. Mike Bailey had a successful X Division title defense against Kenny King. Masha Slamovich continued her dominating ways, defeating Diona Purrazzo. Brian Myers retained the digital media championship over Bhupinder Gujar via DQ. The main event saw in an 8-man tag Heath, Impact World Champion Josh Alexander, Heath, Rich Swann, and Sami Callihan defeat members of Honor No More, Eddie Edwards, Kenny King, and the new Impact World Tag Team Champions. And on night two of that event, let's see if they put any results up. Yeah, night 2 of the Lone Star event, which happened on Saturday during the Aussie Open had defeated Bullet Club, and that kind of goes to a rivalry that's going on over in New Japan right now, in which Martin doing the Bullet Club and the Undisputed. Mike Bailey had another successful title defense on night 2 with Mascara Dorado. Kelly defeated Alicia Edwards. It looks like Bennett and Taven had a successful title defense over Impact World Champion Josh Alexander and Rich Swann via DQ. The Motor City Machine Guns defeated the Good Brothers. The Brothers once again selling guys on their way out. Ryan Myers defeated Bhupinder Gujar in a ladder match for the Digital Media Champion. In an intergender singles match, Impact Knockout Champion Jordan Grace defeated Zicky Dice, Johnny Swinger in his corner. And in a number 1 contender 5-way match for the Impact X Division title, Black Taurus defeated Alex Zane, Laredo Kid, Mia Yim, and Trey Miguel. And then in the main event, Heath defeated PCO in a street fight. So that's all that happened with Impact over the weekend here. And now we get down finally to some NWA news as NWA celebrated its 74th anniversary. over the weekend. Among some of the notable things that happened, Trevor Murdoch retained the NWA World Heavyweight Championship over Tyrus, currently the NWA World Television Champion. After giving Tyrus his first loss in over a year from the looks of it. NWA crowned new United States tag team titles as the Fixers, Jay Bradley and Wrecking Ball Legursky, outlasted 9 other teams. One of those teams, of course, being current Impact World Tag Team Champions Mike Bennett and Matt Taven, to become the new United States Heavyweight Champions. Cyan defeated Zack Dane for the national championship, and then had a successful title defense. Homicide Homicide and Camille both had two successful title defenses over the weekend. And Homicide defeated the future legend Kerry Morton on Saturday, and then came back on Sunday and defeated Ricky Morton, the current legend. And then Camille, the Brick House, had successfully defended the women's title against Taya Valkyrie on night 1, and then defeated defeated the Burke Invitational winner, Open Maxine Taylor, on night 2 to retain her title. Let's see. Pretty Empowered retained their women's tag titles over the Hex, the Kings Highway Street Fight. And in a bit of a disappointing news to a certain extent, the Commonwealth Connection, Harry Smith and Doug Williams, were forced to relinquish the NWO Tag Championship due to Smith becoming ill. He got sick. They were unable to defend the titles, therefore they had to relinquish the belt. And as such, you had a match set up for La Rebellion and Hawk Harry to see who would become the new NWA World Tag Team Champions. As it stands, La Rebellion had regained the titles in what was considered to be a hard-fought battle there. Bully Ray defeated Mike Knox in the tables match. Colby Corino outlasted Caprice Coleman in a best 2 out of 3 falls match. And with all that being said, that's all I got for the NWA news for you. So now we'll start to wind things down a bit here. As today is, let me just view my things here. And in one of our more rare occasions, we actually have all 4 history items tonight, all prior to 2000. So one of our more unique situations we have. Without any further, today is Monday, August 29th, 2022. Let's take a look back at this day in Neat history. And our first stop, we're going to go back 80 years ago today. As on this date, 80 years ago today, MGM produced, Tex Avery directed short The Early Bird Dude It. Premiered on this date in 1940. On this date, 80 years ago today, Tex Avery directed, Fred Quimby produced MGM produced Early Bird Dude It, premiered on this date in plot. The cartoon opens with the printed words, "To the ladies, the worm in this photoplay is fictitious. Any similarity between this worm and your husband is purely intentional." Okay. Yeah. So, for short, Early Bird Dude It premiered on this date 80 years ago today. Now, getting ready to move on to the next piece in each history. And this one's going to be quite interesting because on this date in 1952, which was 70 years ago today, this date 70 years ago today, Ziff-Davis had published a one-shot comic called He-Man. Now, this is not to be confused with Filmation's He-Man. This was long before Filmation right here. Okay, the one-shot He-Man #1 from Ziff-Davis, which proved to be a bit of an anthology here, went on sale on this date in 1952, 70 years ago today. So, Ziff-Davis, under the name Improved Comics Incorporated, published this one-shot of He-Man #1. And this is not the same He-Man, as far as I know, is the one that was done by Filmation. So, anyways, not the same character anyway. So, anyways, moving on to the next piece in each history. On this date in 1982, or 40 years ago today, on this date 40 years ago today, the Super Destroyer, who was being portrayed, I think, at the time by the late Scott Irwin, wins the vacant national NWA national title in a tournament final over Paul Orndorff in Atlanta. On this date, 40 years ago today, in a tournament final for the vacant NWA national heavyweight title, let's see, Super Destroyer defeated Paul Orndorff. And finally, one last piece of, as we go back 30 years ago today, after 1992. On this date in 1992, Sunrise Studios would release the anime film Mobile Suit Gundam 0083, The Last Blitz of Zeon, which premiered in theaters on this date back in 1992, 30 years ago today. On this date, 30 years ago today, the Sunrise Studio anime film Mobile Suit Gundam 0083, The Last Blitz of Zeon, premiered on this date in 1992. So anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight. We did have a bit of a lively audience early on anyways. Don't forget, this Friday is our weekly look back at this comics history, and we'll be concluding our look at comics that went on sale in April 1939, focusing this week on, of course, quality comics, with feature comics being number 21, or maybe 22, I think, and United Feature Syndicate, the single series number 5. So, and also don't forget, next Monday we'll be having an open mic, open mic, open panel, on for Labor Day. So with that, guys, I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow. I thank everybody for being here, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.